Well, hi kids, Pastor Al here. It's nice to see you again this morning. Well, sort of see you, really. Hey, and I hope you had a nice Halloween last night. I've told you before, it's my favorite holiday of the year from when I was a kid. And I hope this morning you're not so, completely whacked out because you ate too much sugar last night and now the sugar high is gone and you have no energy. Your parents probably had a hard time getting you out of bed this morning, huh? Well, hey, I want to talk about something today, and as an illustration for what I want to talk about, guess what I'm going to use? I'm going to use some dog videos. First, let me show you a fun little video of a dog who is very, very good at listening to their master, was very, very good about learning from their master, and following the commands that the master had given them. And when you watch what this dog can do, it's really a beautiful thing to watch. Take a look.
It's time. We're going to run.
Stay.
Nice and calm now. All that energy says we're ready to go, but focus first. Off we go. Here we go. Nice and go, go, go.
You can hear the oohs and ahs here in the crowd.
There's that reverse spin there again. Nice interest. Look at those weave pulls. Kick her out, good. She's falling, little wide, going to cost some time, but I don't think it's going to matter right now.
I don't think so either, not the way this dog's going.
That was super nice.
Famous, looking to become famous. Wow!
Nothing but speed on that one.
What a run!
There we go. Woohoo!
Just shatter the time set by Carly. Over 8.5 seconds faster.
Now I want to show you another video of a dog who, well, seems like a nice dog, but isn't quite as good at obeying what their master is telling them and may not have done a very good job of learning what their master was trying to teach them. And, well, when it came down to try to do what they were supposed to do, well, they didn't do quite as good a job as our first dog.
Well, I'd love to tell you who this dog is, but I haven't got a clue, if I'm honest with you. But we'll do our best, as always, Graham.
I think it's another farewell performance.
Another cameo.
Yeah, I think it is.
Bit of a tunnel blocker. Leave the best till last, leave the prime entertainers to close the show. That's an old show business maxim, and that's what we're getting here today in the Rescue Dogs Agility.
Just a bit of a show-off, really. Now we're going to play peekaboo. Oh, yeah, there we go.
That's right. Guess which end I'm going to come out of the tunnel. Don't fancy that jump at all, nor that one. It's almost a game. It's almost a bit of Mickey taking from the dog.
Now, that's definitely against the rules. I promise you.
Wow.
Because I'm a judge, you know, and that is against the rules.
That has to be a few faults, that. Has to be the first time I've actually seen a dog take a chunk out of an obstacle. Likes the taste as well, I think. What a rascal. Absolute rascal.
Okay, so there's kind of a general rule here that for the most part, a good human master for a dog knows a lot more than a dog does, knows what the dog should be doing, and it's probably in the dog's best interest to do exactly what they're supposed to do because, well, let's face it, people know more than dogs. Now, I'm not trying to teach you something about people and dogs so much this morning, but I'm going to talk to you about people and people because one of the Bible verses I'm studying today with your parents or maybe with your grandparents is the Apostle Paul, who was very smart and knew about God's will for us. And he was giving some advice to the churches that existed a long time ago. And that advice is still perfect and wonderful for us today. And one of the things he tells them in a book called the Book of Ephesians, it was a letter that Paul wrote to some churches. And at the very beginning of chapter 6, he says, "Children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right." And then he goes on to remember that one of the 10 Commandments tells kids to honor their father and their mother. Now, one of the reasons we do that is just because we respect them, and we should. But one of the main reasons is that, well, something you know when you're not mad or angry, is that parents actually tend to know a lot more than kids do. They've been around a long time. They know what's going on. They know what's happening. And they probably know a lot of things that you don't. They know things that are good for you, and they know things that are bad for you. And in fact, it's interesting, this same verse of the Bible tells fathers that they have to be really careful with how they're teaching their kids and how they're dealing with their kids. They say, Paul says, don't get your kids angry in the way that you're dealing with them. But you should instruct them, give them a little bit of discipline so that they know about God and they know about Jesus and they grow up to be decent, wonderful human beings. Now, I'm just going to tell you right now that there are going to be a lot of times in your life when you don't think your parents are right, or you're not happy about what they tell you, or you just rather do your own thing than what they would rather have you do. Every kid feels that. And maybe some of the times they're right, but you know what? Most of the times they're wrong. Parents will often tell us not to do something that we want to do, and it makes no sense to us. And we get frustrated and we get angry, and, well, sometimes we think about disobeying. I'll tell you another dog story. Some years ago, one of the labs I had, his name was Elijah, big, beautiful blonde lab, was doing what he always did when I was in the kitchen. He would stand right next to me, hoping that I would drop something. Now, the rule in our kitchen pretty much was, if I drop some food, I'm not going to eat it. And if the dog gets it, well, that's pretty much okay. I happened to be dealing with a plate full of brownies. And I don't even know why, because I don't like brownies. But they were really big, dark chocolate brownies, and I dropped one on the floor. Now, you should know, chocolate is very bad for dogs. And dogs should never eat chocolate. So as soon as it hit the floor, Eli made a beeline for it, and I shouted, "No!" And he stopped dead in his tracks. And he sat down and he looked up to me with this really confused look on his face, like, wait a minute, something cool just hit the ground, and that's supposed to be for me. But he listened to me. And probably because he didn't need it, he didn't get sick. It was in his best interest to know that even if it didn't make any sense, that his owner loved him, knew what was best for him, and he better listen. And I will tell you, there are going to be times in your life when you just have to trust that your parents love you and know what's best for you. And you just need to listen. Years from now, you'll probably understand why they said it or why they did it, or you'll probably understand why they're right. It may be a while because you may have to have your own kids first. But when the Bible tells us to obey our parents, it's one of the most foundational things that the Bible tells us. God gives us parents to love us, to care for us, but also to teach us what's right and wrong, and to guide us along our way. And if we think we don't need them or are smarter than them, well, you're in for a lot of trouble. Let me just tell you that. So do what Paul says, do what the Ten Commandments say. Frank, I think you'll understand that you need to do what your own heart says when it's quiet and calm and being smart. And that's listen to your parents, because they know more than you, and they love you to pieces, and they want the best for you, even when you may not understand why they're telling you not to do something or telling you to do something. So kids, you probably knew that before I told you this morning, but it's just a good reminder. So thanks for spending a little bit of time with me. You kids have a fun week. Do well in school if you're in school. Listen to your parents. And I will see you next Sunday, one way or the other. Bye-bye.